There's about 6 dogs immediately outside my office barking right now.
Maybe when we start a Patreon, we can get enough money to book a real recording studio for Kim. Welcome to the Screens of the Stone Age 100th episode spectacular.
Woo!
Yeah.
I want to blow a birthday party noisemaker here, but it's 7 a.m. and I'm going to wake up Aurora, so I'll have to add that in post.
Yeah, we'll fix it in editing.
I don't know what a noisemaker sounds like.
Like one of those birthday party horns, you know? I can't remember what it's called.
Like a vuvuzela.
I'll add the air horn that everybody does on podcasts.
Yeah.
This is getting too drawn out for the intro. My name is Josh Lindell. I'm a grad student studying Neanderthal teeth, and I'm here with...
I'm Dr. Kimberly Plomp. I am a bioarchaeologist. I study the human skeleton, health and disease, and evolution.
And I'm Dr. Ross Barnett, Lap's paleogeneticist, interested in phylogeny of the felids and ice age extinctions.
And today we are celebrating our 100th episode. Can you believe that we have done 100 episodes?
No, that's crazy.
Wow. We should get, instead of a party horn, we should get like an Aztec death rattle and just play that.
So my philosophy about birthdays and anniversaries is that certain dates only feel important because we operate on a base 10 number system and it's kind of arbitrary, but nonetheless, it's as good an excuse as any to take this time to reflect back on our past and reflect forward on our future and think about all the things that all the movies and TV shows that we've covered in the past nearly 4 years.
So many.
Yeah.
So we'll start with a couple announcements looking forward to our future. So anybody who listens to our episodes all the way to the end, here's that little clip that I add to the end of every episode talking about how we started this podcast with support from the Paleoanthropology Society of Canada, which is PASC. And PASC has been talking about updating their website. And of course, we have been sort of piggybacking on their website, which is kind of how we started this because we've had free hosting by just sticking our webpage onto their webpage. But since they've been talking about migrating to a different host to save a little bit of money, that seemed like a good idea for us to also migrate to a new host so that we can have a little bit more control and so that we can have a domain that isn't pasc-scpa.ca/sotsa. So that's a roundabout way of saying that I've been working with Dave Bach, my friend and our graphic designer, to create a new website, which we can roll out today. So you can now find our website at screensofthestonage.com. We have our own domain name.
That's exciting.
I'll post that in the chat for you so you can check it out. It's still a little bit rough at this point, but it's going to be 2 weeks until this episode goes up, so it should be pretty nicely cleaned up by then. Can you guys find that link in the chat?
Yeah, I've just gone there. It looks really nice. Looks really nice. Great work.
Oh, screensofthestonage.com.
Did you know that there was like sound options? I did not know.
I did know that, but I didn't have time to look into it to find. I should have found it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This just upped our game, I think.
I think so. This could be nothing but...
As long as Craig is recording those sound effects, because otherwise I'll have to go back in and add them all manually, and none of the listeners will know what we're talking about here. Hey, everyone. As you can hear, Ross and Kim discovered the Discord soundboard, but unfortunately Craig, the bot that records our backup audio on Discord, did not record the sound effects they were playing, so I've done my best to edit them back in.
Okay, I'll stop.
Yeah, we should stop. We're grown-ups. We're real people.
So with this new website, we're in the process of migrating to a whole new RSS feed. And what is going to happen is I'm going to transfer this RSS feed over within the next week. And if I do it properly, there should be no noticeable change on any listeners. And unless I make a mistake, then there might be a disruption in the RSS feed for a short time until I get it fixed. Me again. As it turns out, there was a little bit of a hiccup, and the RSS feed did go down for a couple of hours on the weekend of March 22nd to 23rd. If you tried to access the RSS feed during that time, you might have experienced some problems, but they should have resolved themselves pretty quickly, and most of you probably didn't notice anything. So if you had any trouble, I apologize, and if you're still having any trouble, let me know so that I can make sure everything is fixed. But by the time this episode comes out, if you didn't notice any disruption in the RSS feed, that means that Dave and I figured out how to transfer this over successfully, and we would be entirely on our own website, no longer dependent on Pask and whatever decisions they want to make about their website, which would be nice to have a little bit more control over that kind of thing.
Cool.
And then the other side of that is that if we're hosting our own website, then I'm actually paying for the domain and the hosting, which means that maybe we'll start thinking towards some sort of way to get money to cover that kind of thing, like a Patreon or a Buy Me a Coffee or maybe like a merch store. And we've had those in mind for a little while, and it really depends on whether or not I have enough time in the near future to get those set up. So hopefully I can finish this PhD thesis in the next few months and then not be employed anymore, not have a job, and have some free time to do that kind of thing.
Sounds like a plan.
The other announcement associated with the webpage is we have been recording our episodes on Discord. We meet on Discord, and we've been using the Pask server, but the Pask server is essentially dead. Nobody uses it except us. And so I was thinking, why not just have our own Screens of the Stone Age server? And if we did that, we could open that up to listeners as well. So listeners could have a place to chat with us directly if they wanted to. I know that our audience skews to like our age demographic, which doesn't really use Discord all that much. I think Discord is where younger people are using it more. So who knows if we have any listeners who actually use Discord. But if you do, by the time this episode goes up, you can find a link to you should hopefully be able to find a link to our new Discord server on our webpage, where you can join us and chat with us and give us episode recommendations and stuff like that.
Cool.
Okay. Moving on to reflecting on all of the bad movies we've watched. Way back when we did our 50th episode, we did a tier list where we ranked all of our movies. That was fun, but we've already done it, and it doesn't feel very original to do that again. So what I thought we could do this time is to look back on all of our movies with a little bit of pub trivia, a little bit of a trivia game.
Ooh.
And I know that Kim notoriously forgets every episode as soon as she presses stop on Audacity. So to be fair, I guess we just won't keep score. It'll just be for fun. But if anybody's listening at home, if you've watched a lot of our episodes, if you've seen a lot of these movies, feel free to play along and keep score for yourself and let us know how you do. So to start off, we're a movie review podcast, but we don't just review movies. Sometimes we review TV shows and other things. So can you tell me how many actual feature-length movies we've reviewed on this podcast?
95.
Less than 95.
94.
I'm going to say 86.
Getting closer. 82. We've reviewed 82 feature-length movies. We've reviewed 9 TV series. And we've reviewed 4 or 5 short films, depending on how you categorize the Flintstones Christmas special, which didn't really fit into any other category. Plus, we've reviewed a podcast episode. We've reviewed a whole bunch of music videos on one episode. And we reviewed 1 theatrical play.
And a video game.
Oh, yeah.
We did review a video game, but that wasn't a regular numbered episode. That was only on YouTube because that was a video. I wanted to do more video games, but it was just so much time to edit the YouTube video, edit the video for YouTube. So hopefully we can do some more of that when I finish my thesis and I don't have a regular job. And I can invest all of my time in trying to make this financially successful. Okay, here's another question. We've had guests on some of our episodes. How many of our episodes do you think we have had a guest on?
Including the same one?
Yes. How many actual episodes of ours have featured a guest?
12.
More.
Oh. 14.
82.
82. Somewhere between.
19.
21.
Both are getting closer. We have featured guests on 23 episodes. That's almost a full quarter of our episodes, which was great to know. I'm happy that we were able to have that many guests on.
Yeah. I'm sort of surprised and shocked and astounded by that number.
Among those 23 episodes, we have had 21 separate people as guests on this show.
Yeah, I was about to say, of those 23, was 16 of them Andrew Kinkella.
Yeah.
That was my next question. Andrew Kinkella is our top guest in terms of episodes. Andrew Kinkella has been on 4 episodes of this show. As we said, this episode started with support from the Paleoanthropological Society of Canada, so this is a pretty culturally Canadian podcast in a lot of ways. A lot of our listeners have pointed out the Canadian influence. How many Canadian productions have we reviewed on this podcast?
3.
Very close.
4.
2.
4. It's 4. Depending on what, I'm mining all this information from either Letterboxd or IMDb, and I could have made some mistakes. I could have missed a few things, but I've got 4 that I could find. They are Alpha, which is a Canadian and American production.
Oh, that was good. That was one of the best ones.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very good one. Quest for Fire was a Canadian and French production.
Oh.
The Ugly Little Boy was a short that was an adaptation of the Isaac Asimov story, which was a fully Canadian production, very clearly a Canadian production. And Black Mountainside was a feature-length horror movie, which was also a very Canadian feeling production.
Yeah.
I was trying to come up with the same question for Scotland, but they're never listed as a Scottish production. They're always listed as a UK production, and couldn't figure out how to find it. I don't know if we've ever watched an actual Scottish movie. Have you? Can you remember any?
There was ones that were
The one that was set in Scotland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Christmas Quest was set in Scotland.
Yeah.
No, not the Christmas Quest. The Saving Christmas Spirit was set in Scotland.
But that's the problem with being under the colonial jackboot of the Sassenach.
Okay, you often complain to me about how the movies we watch are very terrible, but we've actually watched some good movies that have received some awards. So how many movies do you think we've watched that have received Academy Awards?
3.
3.
Very close.
4.
2.
As far as I can tell, it's technically 5.
Ooh.
Although Planet of the Apes has an honorary Academy Award. I'm not entirely sure what that means. It seems like it wasn't nominated for an award, but it was given an award for somebody for special effects, sort of honorarily. And so apart from Planet of the Apes, we have 4 movies that were nominated and received awards, almost all of them for special effects.
Yeah, that makes sense. Which ones are they?
Well, can you tell me which 4 movies we watched received Academy Awards?
Alpha.
Not Alpha.
Encino Man?
No.
Oh, they were robbed. Jurassic
comedy
Park.
movies don't typically... Yes, Jurassic Park, for sure. Jurassic Park was nominated for 3 and received 3 awards.
Rightfully so.
Quest for Fire, maybe?
Quest for Fire, yes. Was nominated for 1 and received 1.
So that's...
I cannot think of a
3
single
of the 5.
other movie we
Let's
watched.
think.
Mistress of the Apes?
No.
Neandergen? No.
No.
So... Now, I don't really care about the Academy Awards. I don't know how you feel about them, but they don't really award good movies. They award big budget Hollywood movies. Mm-hmm. So don't necessarily think about movies that are good. Think about movies that are really popular. Big.
Curious George? That was...
No.
1 million BC? Or 1 million years BC? The one with Raquel Welch?
No. But 1 million BC, the original Hal Roach one, was nominated, but it didn't receive an award.
Okay. National Treasure? I can't imagine that would have got...
No.
That was big.
The last 2 are Andrew Jackson's King Kong, And not Andrew Jackson. What's his name? Peter Jackson's
Peter
King Kong. And, of course, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Of course.
Great.
An interesting thing that we see in the type of movies we review is that these movies are set in the prehistoric past when there's no known language that these people would have spoke, right?
Mm.
And so the movie makers have two options. They can either just put it in English or whatever language that they're working in and just accept that that's what they need to do, or they can create an entirely fictional language to have their characters speak, which may be a fully fleshed out language or which may just be a sort of a system of grunts.
Mm.
So how many movies do you think we've watched that have either used a conlang, a constructed language, where the movie is entirely in a fictional language, or to some degree just used a system of, grunts or smaller words where there is no real spoken language that is a living language today?
So there's
22.
Alpha. Oh, see? Clan of the Cave Bearer. See, I remember movies. Mistress of the Apes had grunts. That's all I got.
In the spirit of the question, I'm saying the movie is entirely or nearly entirely spoken in a language.
Oh, okay.
It's not presented in a language that is intelligible to us today.
Yeah, so I think just 5. So probably 12.
I'm going to go higher. I'm going to go 22.
Split the difference on Kim's guess. I've got 8.
Mm.
We have 4 that use a pretty fleshed out conlang. So we have, Kim, as you said, Alpha is spoken entirely in a reconstructed or a fictional Solutrean language with subtitles so you can tell what they're saying. We have Out of Darkness, which was written in a language they called Tola, which was a combination of Basque and Arabic, which has subtitles as well. And then, Kim, as you said, we have Iceman, which is about Otzi, which is in a reconstructed Radic language, but without subtitles. So it's got a lot of dialogue, but there is no way for the viewer to actually understand what they're saying. So you're really just going off of the actions and emotions in this movie.
Mm.
And Quest for Fire uses a sort of primitive, rudimentary language for the Neanderthals, and then for the modern human people, it was mostly in Cree, which isn't quite a reconstructed language, but still. Spiritually, that movie is considered one of the early caveman movies to use conlangs. And then to some degree or another, we've got a few other movies that don't have a fully fleshed out language, but don't have any intelligible dialogue. So we have Master of the World, which is an Italian movie from 1983, very much a ripoff of Quest for Fire. We have Caveman from 1981, which was the Ringo Starr movie, which does have... It's entirely in made-up words, so it's got about like maybe a dozen words that the viewer learns by the end of the movie, so you know what they're talking about, but there's no like sentences or grammar. And then there's 1 million years BC and 1 million BC and 1 million years BC, which are from 1966 and 1940, which have a small number of words again, but not really a fleshed out language, but no subtitles to those, so you're just going off the actions for those to understand what's going on. And Kim, you said Clan of the Cave Bear, but most of the dialogue is in English in that one. Do they have any fake language in that one at all? I can't actually remember.
I don't know. I thought they did, but who knows? It's telepathic, right?
Well, that was in the book, but I don't know that they got into that too much in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, now, when you start going through all of the movies and TV shows we've watched, you start to see some strange patterns. So here's a question for you. How many times did we see a caveman shot to death either by police or the military or an angry mob or something like that?
I would say at least 3 times.
Yeah, do we include cloned cave people and Neanderthals as part of that? Because doesn't William...
I'm definitely including that,
yeah,
yes.
William shot.
For sure gets shot to death by police.
And that one that went on that rampage murder spree through the village?
Yes, a real rampage murder spree or a perceived rampage murder spree,
Trog.
because we got both of those in here.
Yeah, Trog.
The real one, yeah.
Doesn't the
one on the train?
Horror Express.
Yeah. Is Iceman the one where they've got him in the kind of Antarctic base and he goes a bit crazy? Does he not get shot as well?
I didn't include that one because he doesn't actually get shot, even though I do think that they're sort of chasing him with guns, but he falls to his death from a helicopter.
Oh, yeah, that's right. How could I have forgotten that?
Yeah.
Falls from his death, maybe onto some bullets.
The others that we have are Ega, where Richard Keel goes on a rampage through town and gets shot by police, and The Beast from the Beginning of Time, which goes on a rampage through town and gets shot by police, but the bullets can't kill him, and he doesn't get killed until he gets stabbed through the chest with a thagomizer.
Right. What about that one with the mammoth? The alien parasite that reinstates the mammoth?
Oh, the Val Kilmer one.
No.
No, that was the Thaw. Val Kilmer was in the Thaw with the frozen mammoth. But we have the made-for-TV movie Mammoth, where a mammoth is possessed by an alien. Maybe we could have a question: how many movies have we seen where a prehistoric creature gets possessed by an alien? Because we've got Mammoth and we've got Horror Express. Except maybe it was a demon. I'm not sure what was possessing that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird that it's even more than one.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another very strange question. How many times, sorry, let me rephrase this. We have in many cases seen some instance of a prehistoric person somehow brought to modern times where that prehistoric person interacts with modern people. Out of all the movies where that happens, how many times did that result in a pregnancy?
Oh, man.
Every time, right? Except for Encino Man. We don't know.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Yeah. I would say Encino Man is eventually going to have a pregnancy, but...
There was plenty of volunteers, for sure.
Yeah. So William. I mean, there's been two where there was one where that Australopithecine got pregnant, and then there's one where we just watched with a Homo habilis impregnated as a human.
Yep.
Yeah. The one with Burt Reynolds.
The one with Burt Reynolds where the, we can call it Australopithecus maybe. I'm not sure what they say it is, but they call it a trophy.
Right.
That's skullduggery.
Right.
And the one where the Homo habilis impregnates the woman is Mistress of the Apes.
Yeah. I feel like there was more though too, right? Because there's always like the end where the woman, the girlfriend has that twinkle in her eye and she's holding her stomach. I feel like we've seen that multiple times.
Yeah. But I think that's often when it's caveman on cavewoman action, or Neanderthal on cave person action. That's
Yes. If we were including Neanderthals and modern humans meet each other in like contemporary people meet each other and it results in a pregnancy, it would be much more. But when it's just cave people getting modern people pregnant or vice versa, there's one more I could think of, and that is Evolution's Child, where somebody took a sperm sample from an ice mummy and there was a lab mix-up and a woman got impregnated with the wrong sperm.
Easily done.
It's so weird that these are multiple movies.
It is very strange, and I'm wondering if there's, after 100 episodes of this, have we discovered any themes or tropes or trends in these movies that haven't necessarily been identified before? Because one of the things about us is we have some, friend podcasts that do similar stuff where they review like historical movies and stuff. But as far as I know, we're the only podcast that as a primary focus reviews caveman movies.
Yes.
And we might know better than many other people on Earth the common themes that we see in caveman movies at this point. Could we get an academic paper out of this? Could we find something relevant to say to the world of paleoanthropology that we are noticing in here?
Absolutely.
I think so.
I think we definitely could.
Yeah.
Certainly in terms of violence levels. I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty much every film. We could pull in some anthropologists and talk about depictions of violence and fear of our ancestry, etc., etc. I mean, that's clearly projection on our kind of modern part, but I think it says something about our fears that all these kind of cave people come into the modern world, or even just viewing their world. It's all about the violence and hunting. There's no kind of nice, peaceful, let's all just gather nuts and berries types of films. I guess that doesn't make for a particularly great viewing experience, but they could tone down the kind of violence a bit.
I bet you we could even make a book out of it.
I think I've mentioned this on this podcast before, possibly, and I probably should bring it up more often, but do you remember me telling you about a book by Michael Klausner called Prehistoric Humans in Film and Television? The subtitle is 581 Dramas, Comedies, and Documentaries, 1905 to 2004. It's literally just a list of basically every caveman movie
Wow.
over 100 years, up until it was written in 2004. And we could pretty easily write the sequel to cover every movie from 2004 to 2025, which, I mean, not as many as in the previous 100 years, but certainly a lot.
Yeah. Wow.
Does he go through and talk about what is right and wrong like we do?
Kind of. It's pretty selective because obviously he hasn't watched personally 581 movies and documentaries.
What a lightweight.
So it's... well, we're 18% of the way to that number, I suppose. But he basically lists every movie with details, like production details, and of the ones that he has seen, he does give a bit of a description about it, so it's pretty selective. There's not sort of a systematic review of everything. But I mean, we could contribute. There's some of the ones that he's got on the list that we've seen that he hasn't, so we could get in touch and help him update the list possibly.
Or get him on as a guest. That would be pretty cool.
That is, I don't know anything. Do you know who Michael Klausner is? I have no idea who he is.
But clearly he likes caveman movies, so... Or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he hates them now after having trawled through 580 of them.
What I was saying is we should write a book like where we identify the themes and then talk about how those themes are wrong and like use it as like an education.
Yeah,
it'd be like a bathroom book.
I've also thought it would be pretty good to do sort of video essays for our YouTube channel where we could, take a dive into one trope at a time. We could do like a 10-minute YouTube video talking about this trope and where it comes from and what movies we've seen it in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, I've got a little bit more trivia for you.
Okay.
I thought we could go through some actors and see if you can remember what movie we've seen with these actors in it, okay?
All right. I'm waiting for Kim to storm to victory here.
Can you tell me what movie we saw Leonard Nimoy in?
Star Trek? Did we watch a Star Trek?
No, that's a good guess. We watched a Star Trek: The Next Generation, but he was in a few episodes of The Next Generation, but not that one.
Oh, man. Was he in Trog? No.
He was not. Leonard Nimoy was the Atlantean king in Disney's Atlantis.
Oh, that's cheating. That was
I didn't
drawn.
see that.
I'm making them hard.
Yeah.
They're going to get harder.
You could just ask us which one we watched last week and I wouldn't get it.
Well, that's what I said at the top. So, how about Halle Berry? Everyone is looking very quizzically at their cameras.
I'm trying to think of another cartoon that we did.
It's kind of a cartoon, but not really.
Oh, she's in the Flintstones, isn't she? She's in the second Flintstones.
She's in the Flintstones.
Right.
First or second Flintstones.
Yes,
she's in the first Flintstones. Along with, the guy from Twin Peaks, whose name I always forget. Is it the guy from Twin Peaks?
Yeah.
Kyle MacLachlan?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's also in the Flintstones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The evil guy. Yep.
Maybe these are too hard for you. How about Tim Curry?
He's a comedian, right?
Team Quest for Fire?
He's not in Quest for Fire. He was in a TV special, a TV miniseries, if that helps you. A 2-part TV miniseries.
That's not it.
He was in Attila.
Again, I didn't see that one.
Did I see that
How can
one?
I remember which ones that we have all seen? One of you must have, because I've never done an episode alone. We covered that one with the Grease Lightning podcast. Okay, well, obviously some of these are too hard for you. Let's try another style of question here. How about John Rhys Davies?
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I know who that is. And he is in one that we've seen fairly recently. Well, he's in Indiana Jones, obviously.
He's in Indiana Jones,
Yeah.
yes. But so here's the problem. The question for you. He was in another movie we've seen.
That's what I was thinking.
John Rhys what?
He's
John Rhys Davies. I remember talking about this. He's Gimli from Lord of the Rings, and we talked about this because the movie that we watched that he is in came out the same year as Lord of the Rings, and we were like, wow, he must have gone right from shooting Lord of the Rings to shooting this piece of crap movie that we saw him in.
Evolution?
No, Evolution's a good guess because tons of people are in Evolution that you wouldn't suspect. He was in Sabretooth.
Oh, yes. He's the big money guy, isn't he, in Sabretooth?
Yeah.
And he's really creepy.
The big money guy. Okay, how about this one? Rick Moranis.
Flintstones.
Yes, but he's in a second movie as well.
So it's got to be one of the Canadian ones. Quest for Fire?
Well...
Oh. Alpha?
I would love to see Rick Moranis in Quest for Fire. It's a cartoon. He plays it alongside Dave Thomas in their classic Canadian character.
Is it the bear one?
Brother Bear.
Yes,
Brother
Brother Bear.
Bear.
He plays a moose.
Yes.
How about Keanu Reeves?
He's in the
Bill and Ted.
Netflix Apocalypse, American Apocalypse.
Yes, you got them both. He is in Bill and Ted, and I thought you were going to not remember because you probably repressed the memory that he is actually in season 2 of Ancient Apocalypse.
No, I think about that about once a day.
This is a tough one here. Paul Rudd.
He's in Jurassic Park 3, isn't he?
No, he is not.
Oh. I feel like it's one we've seen recently as well.
No, I don't think so.
Is it a
Oh,
cartoon?
man.
Maybe
is he an
has.
Encino Man? Has he got a small part in Encino Man?
Nope, not that I know of.
Damn it.
And it's not a cartoon? He's a real person?
Yes, he
Is he a real
person.
He doesn't age, though.
He doesn't age, no.
Yeah, my second question was, how old was Paul Rudd in the movie we saw him in?
Does it matter?
Paul Rudd was in Night at the Museum. He was the ex-wife's new husband.
Yeah.
That's right.
And he was also in Year One
Yeah.
as Abel, who gets murdered by David Cross's Kane.
Yeah.
Remember
Year
that.
One is another one where tons of people are in that movie that you wouldn't remember. Now, as I was coming up with actors to have you guess what movie they were in, I found a cool theme here, which was I could find a lot of actors where they were in one movie you definitely remember, and then a second movie where you probably wouldn't remember them, and that was a lot of fun. But you know what I realized when I was doing that? We have not seen a woman in 2 separate movies unless it was a sequel, and she was playing the same character. I could not find a single female actor that was in 2 separate movies that we watched, but I could find tons of men who are in multiple movies. And so that had me thinking about the Bechdel test, which we often talk about in our episodes.
Yeah.
And so I actually tried to, we should have been keeping track because we say it in almost every episode. We should have kept a spreadsheet to see whether our movies passed or not. I couldn't get data on every movie, but I went to whatever the Bechdel test website, bechdel.com or something like that. And I searched for as many movies as I can, and I filled in as many as I could from memory. So I could find data on 62 of the movies that we watched. What percentage out of 62 movies that we've watched do you think pass the Bechdel test?
9%.
It's going to be disappointing, isn't it?
It's higher than 9%, but it's not very good.
I was going to say
15%.
25.
No, that's
Well,
high.
it's higher than that, so maybe I'll be
Okay.
pleasantly surprised. 42% of the
Okay.
movies we've watched pass the Bechdel test.
That's
I mean,
pretty
that-
terrible,
okay.
but not as terrible as
Yeah.
we
Your
were.
standards are pretty low.
Yeah.
I would have thought like if 75% were passing, I would still think that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it should be 100%, but yeah.
Although, having said that, none of our podcasts passed the Bechdel test either.
That's true. Well,
No, we
yeah,
had-
some of them do.
Marana.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We've had lots of female guests. That's I mean,
We're sounding a bit defensive here.
if 23 out of 100 of our episodes have guests, and only some of those episodes have female guests, then we're at a pretty low percentage passing the Bechdel test.
Yeah.
Okay, now, out of all of the movies where I was looking for actors to have you guys guess, there was only one actor that I found that was in 3 of our movies. So who do you think our top actor is?
Ooh.
Is he that guy, that Troy McClure guy?
No, he was in 2 movies, but that was a sequel, so he's playing the same character. Doug McClure, we should say.
Ron Perlman? No.
No, he was in Quest for Fire, but what else? Did we see him in anything else?
I don't know. He just looks like he should be in all the cave films.
Is this person still alive today?
Yes, and still very popular.
It's going to be someone that's maybe in Jurassic Park.
I don't think so. Now, I could be wrong about this because I was going through all of these movies one at a time, sort of like eyeballing it. So I could make some mistakes. Let me tell you the movies that he was in. King Kong, Year One,
Jack Black.
Yes, and Ice Age.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, okay. I thought Jack Black, but then I was like, no, that can't be. I can only think of one.
Who would have thought that Jack Black was our top actor in the movie we watched? Okay, next trivia category for you. I want to read you quotes from some movies and see if you can tell me what movie they're from, okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to read these to you, but what I'm going to do is add the actual soundbite from the movie to the final episode. So it'll be easier for listeners to guess because they'll have the actor's voice, okay?
Okay.
How about this one?
This new program's incredible. A few more years development and we won't even have to dig anymore.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park, yeah. And the opening scene where I don't think the character is named, but...
No, the GIS.
Alan Grant says, what's the fun in that?
Yeah.
Okay, here's a couple of geology quotes, okay?
Look, I'm just a geologist. I like rocks. I love rocks. Now, it's clear you two don't give a shit about rocks, but what you do seem to care about is gigantic dead bodies. And I don't really have anything to contribute in the gigantic dead body arena! I'm gonna go back to the ship, if you don't mind.
Troll? Troll
No.
Hunter? No?
King Kong?
Nope.
Gigantic dead
It's one where they've
bodies.
got a ship to go back to.
Yeah.
Is it that one with where they eat the plesiosaur?
Yeah, Doug McClure one.
No.
Oh.
No. It's a spaceship.
Oh, is it the one the one with the famous scene of the thing that goes up in the air and comes back down?
The thing that goes up in the air and comes back down, and then it rolls across the round.
You mean a spaceship?
Across the ground, and then...
No,
and then it falls over, and she's running. She should be running sideways, but she's instead running in a straight line in the direction that it's rolling. Is that what you're saying?
Prometheus.
I wasn't,
Prometheus.
I
yeah,
wasn't
it
saying
is.
that one. No, I was thinking of the one with like where the chimpanzees or whatever, the Australopithecines throw the rock in the air and it turns into a spaceship.
Oh,
something
yeah,
like that,
2001.
2001.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's another geology question that might be a little bit easier.
I am more interested in the Rock of Ages than I am in the Age of Rocks.
Ooh, that's Indiana Jones, isn't it? No.
Nope.
Jack Black? That sounds like a Jack Black quote.
It could. Think older. Think.
Is it?
Think more biblical.
It's Inherit the Wind, isn't it?
It's Inherit the
Yeah.
Wind. Yeah.
With Clarence Darrow and the Scopes trial.
Great.
Yeah, that was a zinger. That was a
Yeah.
good line.
Okay. How about this one?
I don't know where you get your facts, sir, but I am a volunteer housewife with 45 minutes of orientation and a Harlequin romance about archaeologists.
I feel like I would remember this one.
Yeah.
You should remember this one.
Is that Evolution?
Nope. It's a cartoon.
Oh, is it the one with Bigfoot? With Susan?
Nope.
Cartoon.
This is Futurama. This is Jurassic Bark, the episode where they go to visit the museum reconstruction of Fry's Pizzeria, and he's telling the tour guide what all the pizza stuff was for, and she is disagreeing with him because she knows best.
Right.
How about this one?
I don't understand evolution, and I have to protect my kids from understanding it.
That's Futurama as well, isn't it? That's
Futurama as well.
Yeah, I remember that one. That's the I don't want to live on this planet anymore episode.
That episode is a Clockwork Origin. Okay, one more quote here.
In what they have studied, yes, we can say there's no evidence for an advanced civilization.
I don't know.
No guesses on this one?
No.
That was the most important line from the Joe Rogan episode 2136 with Graham Hancock and Flint Dibble, where Joe Rogan pressed Graham Hancock to make a statement. Is there evidence for an advanced civilization that you are suggesting? And he says, in what they have studied, yes, we can say there's no evidence for an advanced civilization. That is at 1 hour and 27 minutes and 5 seconds into the episode, and that is a very important soundbite for archaeologists to remember, because anytime we want to defend the research we have actually done against pseudoarchaeology, we can throw that back and say, Graham Hancock himself has admitted there is no evidence for anything he's saying. Very important soundbite. So remember that number. 1 hour, 27 minutes and 5 seconds is when Graham Hancock gave up the game and confessed that he has no evidence.
But yeah, you have to parse that sentence, though. I mean, it's like triple negatives. It's, yes, we have no bananas today kind of level of posturing. And
he's good at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, I am pulling it out of context because the next thing he says is there's no evidence, but you have to think about how much they've actually studied and realize that all of the evidence is in all the places they haven't dug yet. That's what he's saying.
Well, that's unfortunate, isn't it?
We should put that on our funding applications.
Yes. We've only dug like 1% of the world. We need funding to dig the other 99% of the world. Everything needs to be dug up.
Yeah.
Now, I thought I might ask you to see if you can identify the movie based on the movie, a combination of the movie's tagline and user reviews from Letterboxd. Letterboxd is great for pithy one-line movie reviews, okay? So this movie's tagline is a passionate and all-consuming love affair.
Is that the creepy one with the Christian lecturer?
Yes.
That's what.
I thought you might say that.
Is it not that one?
It is not. Let me give you a user review from user Yaz ! And then a bunch of symbols that look like stars. They say, no chemistry, just geology. 2.5 out of 5 stars.
No, I don't know.
Is it a Christmas movie?
It is not. Let me give you another user review here. Kat says, to be a depressed gay taken care of by a MILF. 4.5 stars.
What?
Kim, this was a movie for you. This was Ammonite, about Mary Anning, starring Kate Winslet and Saoirse Ronan. Okay, how about this one? The tagline is, when past meets future.
Encino Man?
Nope. I mean, this could be a lot of movies based on the tagline. Here's a review for you. This is from user Sydney Rocket Emoji. This is like when the Hinge date has great pictures and then they show up and they're boring as fuck. 1.5 stars out of 5.
Again, that could be most of the movies that we watch.
Is it Sabretooth?
Nope. It is. This is a big budget. It's a big Hollywood movie.
Oh, is it that crappy
it's a pretty
one?
Recent one.
Based on the Michael Crichton book that had Gerard Butler in it, where they go back in time.
No, that's Timeline.
Is it that one that 10,000 years BC or something?
Oh.
Nope, but it's got a number in the title. Let me give you one more user review. This is from Jacob Sanger.
65.
The Christians were right. Yes. Yes. Jacob Sanger says, the Christians were right, unfortunately. The first man on earth was Adam. 2 out of 5 stars.
Yeah.
Adam Driver is who
Right.
talking
That
about
was
there.
so boring. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, how about this one? The tagline is, "Sometimes your past is a mystery." Here's a review for you from user Corner Store. Imagine that you're in a film analysis class and your prof draws a matrix with irony/sincerity being Y and self-awareness/ignorance being X. Your Neanderthal classmate walks up to the chalkboard and headbutts it into a million pieces. Everyone stands up and starts clapping. Under the green emergency exit sign, the mother of one of the students sheds a tear in pride. This is sort of what it feels like to watch this movie. 5 out of 5 stars.
That is brilliant. That person should be a guest. But I don't know. So it's a good film, is it? 5 out of 5?
They thought it was.
Did we enjoy it?
I don't know. The review is quite a relevant review, as you'll see. The movie is William, the first movie we ever reviewed.
Okay.
Okay. This movie's tagline is, "Back when you had to beat it before you could eat it." Here's a review from user Isabel, dinosaur emoji, star emoji. She says, "A dinosaur gets high and there's a Yeti. Tell me this isn't great stuff. And the stop motion AI is well done. Everyone stop bashing the fat dinosaurs. 4 out of 5 stars.
And there was a movie with a Yeti and dinosaurs and they got high and I can't remember it.
Yeah.
Oh, is it Dinosaur City?
No.
Oh.
Here's another review for you from Dingus McFart.
Let me give this one my full attention.
It's going to be like incredibly intellectual.
Yeah.
Dingus says, "An hour plus of grunting and basically a stream of constant rape jokes. It's worth watching only so you can appreciate good movies once again. 1 out of 5 stars.
I mean, that could be so many films that we've watched, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Is it that French comedy one?
No, it is not. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. It is Ringo Starr's Caveman from 1981.
I don't remember the Yeti.
Lots of I remember they fell into an ice cave and there was a Yeti and the Yeti was played by some famous actor and I can't remember who it was, but you would never know because they're in a Yeti suit. Somebody very tall, probably.
Richard Keel? I mean, he's possibly.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was. I can't remember. Okay, I can't read you the tagline for this one because it'll give it away, but I'm going to read you just one review and see if you can guess where my head is at on this one. So user Croissant says, "Changing my rating from 4 to 2 stars after we discussed this in archaeology class."
I mean,
nice. Yeah.
Could be anything.
Jurassic Park?
Not
Indiana
quite.
Jones.
That is a review for... Yes, that is a review for Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Wow.
And so, letterboxd user Croissant, if you are in my class, and it is my class that you discuss that movie in, let me know and I will change your grade from a B to an A-.
Very good. What is the tagline for Indiana Jones?
I didn't write it down because it was too obvious. It was something obvious. Let's do one more of these. This one's tagline is, "It's a real education."
The creepy Christian one.
Yes, that was a little... I thought about not giving you a tagline because the other taglines were even more obvious for that one. Let me read you a review from Alvis Day. They say, "Let's be real, the Neanderthals were added later just to get some grimy titty in there for daddy. That being said, not enough Neanderthals." 1 out of 5 stars.
That's pretty succinct, I would say.
All right. Now, I did want to actually review a movie in this episode, or a film in this episode, and I thought we could do it live. So I'll send you a link and we'll watch it together. And I'm not sure how this is going to translate into an actual podcast episode, but this is a very short clip, and maybe we'll watch it on 1.5 speed just to save us a little bit of trouble. So let me send this to you in the Discord chat. And so maybe let's set this to 1.5. I think on 2 it was a little too hard to hear, but open this up on YouTube, set it to 1.5, and then we'll count down and we'll watch this together. And probably I will cut this part out of the audio because it'll probably be boring to just have us laughing or making confused sounds. And then we'll discuss it afterwards, okay?
Okay. Ready.
think I'm ready as well.
Okay, so the cartoon that I have for us to review today is called Mastodons. It's a cartoon episode from 1997, and we're going to listen to this. We're going to watch this live, and then we're going to come back and discuss this. And this will be our episode review for our 100th episode, okay? Ready to watch this?
Yep. Do a countdown.
Okay, ready. 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh my god.
I remember this.
A few moments later.
I mean, what the hell was that? Oh my god.
Okay, so let's pause the video and
This
we'll
feels like
discuss
it was
this.
made at the manhole.
Yeah, it's like Tom of Finland had like too much cheese before bedtime and then dreamed up this crazy mammoth hybrid muscle bunny people. I mean, wow.
So who wants to explain to our listeners what I just made you watch?
It has no explanation, Josh. You're asking the impossible. Yeah.
It's exactly the type of cartoons that we grew up on. If you're on the older millennial, it's a weird fever dream
advert
with adverts, yes, pushing a very unhealthy diet.
The answer to your question is milk.
Yeah, with 4, like a super team of mastodons that are super muscular and wearing really tiny clothes. And
well, they look like elephants.
That's what mastodons means, Colby. Mastodons were prehistoric elephants, but these mastodons have giant, muscular human bodies.
Yeah. It was weird. And the rat obviously has a huge crush on them.
Yeah, boy, those dudes are pumped.
Yeah. Yep. As well as being able to talk for reasons that are never explained.
Yeah. If anybody is familiar with this cartoon, it's probably because they heard about it on Red Letter Media, who also did a review of it. So we don't have to say too much about it other than the fact that it features mastodons. Mastodons are totally in our wheelhouse. So it's been on my list for a while, but I had no idea how we were going to do this because obviously there's nothing we can really say about it.
No.
Why are they mastodons? Like, that's about all we can get to.
Yeah.
They survived the Ice Age in their Arctic compound,
in the North
where
Pole.
they evolved to be super smart and super ripped and sexy.
Yeah.
And super racist.
And racist, yeah.
Oh, so sorry. Most unfortunate. I apologize for any embarrassment this may cause you.
Yeah, they are. So, they're a Ninja Turtles ripoff. There's 4 of them. They're big, buff mastodons, and each one of them is a racist stereotype, except for the leader, who is just normal, I guess, is the implication. There's 3 different races, and then there's the normal white guy. There's an Italian guy who just keeps singing opera, and there is a Asian mammoth with a very horrible accent, and there is a black mammoth, and they have human skin colors that are associated with this. They're not mammoth. They're not covered in fur like a mammoth is. So it's pretty weird.
Well, the only thing mastodon-y about them is their nose and mouth, right? Everything else is pretty human-esque.
Yes, they're just buff, muscly humans with mastodon heads.
Yeah.
And they are like superheroes, but then it turns into a milk commercial, and then it turns into an exercise tape for this whole episode is 13 minutes long, and like 3.5 minutes of it are just a workout routine.
To be a mastodon, you have to be strong, live right, eat right, gotta pump to this song.
Where I guess they're trying to get the kids to work off all the calories they put on from all that milk that they're telling them to drink.
Crazy.
I remember, like, I've seen the picture, like when the poster came up, that brought me back to memories, but I've never seen the show.
Yeah.
Or maybe you repressed it?
In the UK, we didn't have aggressive
it.
Milk marketing as you guys did over in...
Oh, the milk marketing was aggressive.
Yeah.
When we were young. Like, it was, you died if you didn't have 4 glasses of milk. You were just going to shrivel up and your bones were going to turn to dust.
Yeah. No, we escaped that.
It's pretty strange looking back on you know, what was like normal in our childhoods, to be like, okay, so they're telling us to drink milk because they're telling us that this is part of a healthy diet. But the things that they're showing us in this video to eat are cheeseburgers and pizza and nachos and hot chocolate and ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's just so transparent in retrospect that this has nothing to do with health. This has to do with the dairy lobby trying to sell milk products and dressing them up in a way that people are going to actually buy them, but having nothing to do with health. It was so strange.
And even less to do with mastodons. I mean, if you're trying to sell a healthy diet, maybe don't use extinct animals to promote it. I mean,
but they've lasted 10,000 years and only gotten more muscular throughout.
And their favorite exercise is thinking.
Yeah, they're not only muscular, they're also smart.
And pacifists as well. That respect and peace are the way.
Yes.
So that is Mastodons, the cartoon from 1997 that, as it turns out, is just a commercial for dairy products.
Is there more than one episode, or is it just this? Was this just dropped and then they said, yeah, we can't improve on this. This is just...
I haven't seen another episode. I as far as I know, it's just this one. So I don't know, maybe they sent this tape around to like elementary schools to have them play at recess on snow days.
Can you imagine? I mean, at no point during watching that did I have any idea what was coming next.
No.
Like, you could have paid me £1 million at the beginning to guess what this cartoon was about, and I would have never got it right, ever. Oh, it's a milk commercial with mastodons. Okay.
And an exercise routine.
Yeah, and very large homoerotic overtones.
All right, so I don't know that we need to say any more about Mastodons. So
can we? I don't think we can. I mean,
we probably can't. That's our 100th episode. Thanks for listening all the way to the end. Thanks for listening through 100 episodes if you're a regular listener. If you're a new listener, why don't you go back and listen to some of the episodes about these movies we've been talking about in this episode. Why don't you check out our new webpage at screensofthestonage.com. Much easier to find now. Why don't you join our Discord server, which should be up by the time this episode goes up, and you can chat with us there. And, we don't have a lot of listeners, so chances are if you join our Discord server, there's going to be a couple of you there, and so we'll have a direct line of communication if you want to suggest episodes. Check out our Blue Sky and our Facebook account. I haven't mentioned this before, but I deleted our Twitter a few episodes ago without actually mentioning it after Elon Musk does his Nazi salute. So, we're off Twitter at this point.
I have to figure out how to log into my Twitter so that I can delete it. So that you
can delete it. Yeah. How do we all feel after 100 episodes? Did you realize we were going to do 100 episodes when we started this? And how long do you think we're going to keep this going?
I did not think.
I start a lot of things in my life and never actually finish any of them. Like, I have learned the guitar and the piano and the violin. I've taken Spanish and Japanese and Latin and French. And I have bought all his makings for jewelry, making jewelry, doing resin stuff, like all this, and I don't do any of these things. I don't knit. I have to start everything. And so I really did think that this would be that, where we would do like an episode or two and then we just forget about it. Mm. But I mean, this is all because of you, Josh, because you keep us on point. If it was up to me, this would have died. Like after the first episode.
The linchpin hurting us like so many cats.
So as long as I keep inviting you to watch movies with me, then we'll keep doing it, is what you're saying.
Pretty much. I think that's how it's going to go.
Well, I just paid for 3 years of web hosting, so I guess we have to keep it up for that long.
Yeah, we'll get to episode 200 at least.
Well, when I find that people are surprised when they ask me, they're like, "Oh, you do a podcast?" And I don't mean strangers. I mean like people in my life, like friends of 20 years, my dad, right? Like, and then they're like, "How long have you been doing it?" You're like, 3 or 4 years now. And they're like, "What?" Like, yeah. Apparently not a lot of podcasts actually make it through this many. So I think we did good.
Yeah, I think we have.
Yeah, simply by virtue of doing more than 10 episodes, we are like a top 10% podcast, right?
Very cool.
Yeah, we just need to get more listeners somehow, I guess. Advertising. I really need to do that. on
we
Facebook.
should draw
I don't think I've
ourselves
logged into
as
the
cartoon mastodons and then send it out to every school we can think of, and that seemed to work for milk marketing.
And then get blacklisted.
Yeah, why was there no female mastodon? I mean, that's weird as well.
Females aren't smart or strong, I think. I think that's the implication.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Just add some sexism into the racism as well. That's great.
Hey, Ross, why is there no female Ninja Turtle? Why is there no female biker mouse from Mars? Why is there no female Street Shark? Why is there no female... What's the other ones from the 90s?
There was female Power Rangers.
Ninja Pizza Cats.
That was big.
Wasn't that one?
Mm-hmm.
Samurai Pizza Cats. That was the other one.
I loved Motorcycle Mice from Mars.
Maybe nobody remembers that one except us.
All right, I'm going to scoot, but that was fun. I'm glad that I won the quiz, clearly.
Obviously, you were going to win the quiz.
that my competitive streak feels satisfied, so that's good.
Do you have questions, comments, or movie requests? We want to hear from you. Find us on Blue Sky and Facebook at SOTSA Podcast. Send us an email to screensofthestoneage@gmail.com or visit our website at screensofthestoneage.com.